Today, I want to talk about a really important topic. And it's important for everyone. It's important for you watching this video, and I know it's important for you. And it doesn't matter what age you are, what culture you have, or religion. This topic is incredibly important for you. And of course, I'm talking about the topic of love. And when I talk about love in this video, I will refer to the intimacy of intimate love between you and your partner. Now, whether or not you're in a relationship, please watch this video because I know you're going to get value out of this. I'm going to start off by saying 5 statements where I know that at least maybe one of them you will probably recognize from your life. So number 1, you want your partner to fill every single gap in your life. You want them to be an amazing lover. You want them to be hot and sexy. You want them to have ambition and drive. You want them to talk about relationship and feelings. You want them to be kind. You want them to be present, but you also want them to be driven. And I just want you to know that when you put all those criteria on your partner, I want to ask you, are you all of that for your partner? Because we believe that they need to tick every single box, but relationships are a group. So what I mean by that is you have an intimate relationship with somebody where there's an intimacy, there's a connection, there's a sharing of values. But then you have maybe relationships with people where this is the person that I go party with. This is the person that, I like to go to museums with. This is the person I talk really deep feelings with. It doesn't have to be your intimate partner. But the problem is when you're trying to look for all of those things in one person, you are putting so much expectation on your partner that it's really hard to live up to your criteria. So I want to ask you, if you are the person that has all of those criteria, are you the type of person that would fulfill all of those in someone else's life? Have a think about that. Number 2, you are looking for somebody to fall in love with, but simultaneously you're saying to yourself, oh, that person's not my type. But just remember, your type is the reason why you're single. Because whatever you've been dating up until now hasn't been your type. So when you think that this is your type, it might not necessarily be your type. It might be what you think it is from your past, but it might not be the person that is the best fit for you for the future. So I want you to erase that comment of this person is not my type and expand your mindset into thinking, what type of relationship do I want to have? Instead of pointing out, oh, that person does that, oh, they're not a morning person, oh, that person's like that, or that person's like that, it's not going to work for me. Look instead of how do I want to feel inside a relationship, and how do I feel about myself when I'm hanging out with this person? Because your type is probably not the person that you're going to actually end up with and be happy with. So that's number 2. Number 3, you've been single so long, maybe, or for a short time, maybe, because you have pain from your past. And so when you go into the new relationship, your brain's already going, well, as long as that person's not going to be like this, because as soon as they're like this, I'm getting rid of them. So you're bringing the past experiences into the now, which is clouding up your experience of your relationship now, or the potential of meeting somebody to fall in love with. Because you've already sabotaged it by having fears from your past show up in the now. But if you could take the fears and turn them around into curiosity and go, you know what, I'm going to have no assumptions. I'm going to have no expectations. I'm just going to be curious about this individual that's in front of me or whoever comes into my life without having any of my old fears, monsters coming in saying, oh, they did that. That probably means this from your past, because you will then be sabotaging before you even started. And I'm sure if you're struggling in a relationship, that's something that you're doing. And number 4, you want the other person to fulfill you. You want the other person to be your other half. You want the other person to complete you. Now that's a massive issue because that's not their job. The partner's job is not to complete you. That's your job. So what you're doing by wanting somebody to look up to you or somebody to, fulfill all of the needs that you have in terms of like they need to buy me flowers and they need to open the door and they need to tell me I'm cute or they need to, be sexy or they need to be this, is you are actually asking your partner to love the things about yourself that you don't love. And what you need to do then is take a step back and go, you know what? If I fulfilled all of these needs myself, If I myself loved myself completely, I wouldn't have to be jealous. I wouldn't have to have them tell me I'm gorgeous. I already know that. I wouldn't have to have them, live up to the expectations that I have, because I don't need them, because I'm giving them to myself. So if you become needy in a relationship, it's because you don't love you. So if that's happening for you right now, you got to turn the mirror and go, do I love myself, and would I date myself? If the answer is no, then you've got to work on yourself. That's not the job of the relationship. That's your job. Before you can be fulfilled and happy inside of that relationship, and before you can make the other person happy as well. And number 5, you're not going out there. You're not putting yourself out there. You're hoping that your partner is going to show up in some miraculously romantic dream that, you're in the supermarket picking the apples and all of a sudden there they are. Or, they're going to show up next to you in the seat on the airplane. There they are. And because that's what I see in the movies and that's how it would be romantic. No, but are you doing the work? Are you going out there? Are you putting yourself out there around people without having resentment from the past or baggage from the past, and being open and curious about, you know what? I'm going to find the partner that I'm going to live with, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to go on dating sites. I'm going to go on events where I can meet people. I'm going to do the work to meet people, because the person that you want to meet doesn't just show up in your mailbox or at the supermarket. They might show up, but if you don't go out there and put yourself out there and actually try to find somebody, you ain't gonna find somebody. So I just want you to understand that if you're doing any of these 5 things, you can have pain in your relationship, or you might not even meet somebody. So I want you to do the homework now. Think about these 5 things that I brought up today. How are these showing up in my life? And what do I need to do to actually become the person that is ready, available, and worthy of an incredible relationship?